Welcome back to part 2 of our WWF WWE Over the Edge 1999 watch along and Owen Hart tribute episode. Thanks for coming back to us. If you haven't watched part 1, go onto our YouTube page, find part 1, watch that first. We're doing this watch along format, so we're providing alternate commentary, a few bits of trivia, hints and tips for the Over the Edge pay-per-view 1999. We're currently 1 hour and 30 minutes through the Netflix cut, as this version has removed all Owen Hart parts from it. And I think, Matt Burns, if that's all right with you, we should just get cracking back into the stream.
Down for it.
Okay, so I'm going to count us down again. If you're synced up with us at 1 hour 30, 3, 2, 1, play. And we got Triple H fighting with The Rock backstage and Mankind coming in for the save.
Straight in.
Oh, and there's China. I heard somewhere that coronavirus started with China.
Was it with China or in China?
It certainly, well, it was in China. It happened one night in China.
Bit batty.
Controversial. My favorite Triple H theme tune.
Is it controversial though?
I think it is. The game is sort of the
it's
standard. It's
a good song.
Seem weird to see him here though, with hair and no beard.
Yeah.
And now we see him with no hair and a beard.
Have you heard some of the remix version of there?
Yeah.
Some of them are absolutely just ace.
I prefer the version with I must admit, I do prefer the version with lyrics.
Yes.
But there you go, it's just life.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't this get used temporarily by Stephanie McMahon?
And China used it as well for a while. And used by a few, yeah. Anybody who was associated with the game.
All business.
Crying over your little injury.
While I do my 7-second heat.
So I promised you, Matt Burns, didn't I? Another Owen Hart story.
If I'm not mistaken, your favourite.
It is my favourite.
Well, why is it when you said that, I just all I heard in my head from Fifth Element, the quote, my favourite.
It's my favourite because it's stupid.
Go on.
Right? It's my favourite because it's stupid. It's such a stupid thing, but it just makes me laugh every time. So this is a story told by D'Lo Brown. And this is on a house show. Owen absolutely loved making kids laugh, right? And once before a match, he leaned over to D'Lo and said, "Watch this." He then got out of the ring, walked over to the barricade, got right in this kid's face, nose to nose, right? And said, "You better cheer for me, or I'm telling your teacher you didn't do your homework." Like, the kid just burst out laughing like the funniest thing they'd ever heard, and then spent the entire match chanting for Owen Hart. And I just think like that's my favorite story because it's just so silly but so funny.
What a way to turn face by threatening the teacher.
It's just like so Owen Hart, brilliant.
You got to love
Rock
that.
sends Triple H out here. Has The Rock got a broken arm here?
Yes.
Has he actually got a broken arm though? Oh, it does look like a real cast. Fair dues.
Because I think
I suppose if it's not a big break, 6 weeks to heal, isn't it? So I can see him wrestling through a certain amount.
Well, it was hit with a sledgehammer.
All right, so it might not be real.
Yeah. While it was in the cast.
We think it's a gimmick injury then.
Yeah.
It does look less like a cast and more like a paper mache.
A mold. Mold.
Yeah, it looks like it's been cut as well, as if it's been like they taped it back together.
Almost like, you know, it could come loose during the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably a kayfabe injury. Again, if you're listening along live with us now, we're at 1 hour, 35 minutes and 12 seconds. We've got about 50 minutes left of this watch along. Well, probably close to 45 minutes now.
Yeah.
And I suppose I just wanted to take a bit of time as Earl Hebner refs this one between The Rock and Triple H outside the ring. Rock wants to talk to the Spanish fans on the Spanish announce table headset. Hugo Savinovich getting sat on. The Rock kicking your monkey arsey.
Could not get away with that today.
No. Well, I mean, you could probably get away with that. I don't think you'd be able to do much more than that.
No.
Oh, nice.
And there he goes. Almost like on cue, like we spoke about it.
I thought he was going to take the cast off for the people's elbow.
I think we would have popped for that.
Yeah, oh, I would have, definitely. And this is an interesting time for both of these. Obviously, they were, you know, the main of what they were one of the undercard matches for SummerSlam in '98 for the Intercontinental title in a ladder match. The Rock's now had a reign as the WWE champion, WWF champion, from Deadly Game Survivor Series over to WrestleMania and then turned babyface. Triple H has moved out of DX and into the corporation with China and the rest of the corporate ministry now. And he's sort of playing second fiddle to the Undertaker, but you can see that he's the heir apparent to be the big next heel in the company. And I think we were really lucky at this point in WWE that we had, you know, two huge baby faces emerge in Austin and then The Rock. And yes, they both played heel at certain points, but they were meant to play baby faces.
Yeah.
You know, you can see it from miles away. But we also had somebody that was such a good villain, like Triple H, and somebody coming through who could play a villain, you know, or somebody who was born to play a villain like Triple H. And don't get me wrong, I know Triple H worked babyface at different times during his career as well, but you can't deny that he was a better heel than a babyface.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think about matches like this and feuds like this with The Rock, where they're both going through, but then, you know, in 12 months, less than 12 months.
Yeah.
In 6 months, he's feuding with Mick Foley, having that amazing street fight and that quality Hell in a Cell. 12 months after that, he's wrestling Steve Austin in 3 Stages of Hell at No Way Out.
Yeah.
You know, having an amazing match there. Wrestling The Undertaker at Mania 17.
Yes.
Obviously, we get the 2-man power trip. And then we get the injury that I would love to say was really bad for him, but actually is probably career defining and making for him, the return from the torn quad when he came back as a babyface. Well,
at the same time, not only did it happen, it also showed his toughful, you know, how tough he was to be able to not only continue but also get locked into the walls of Jericho with a torn quad.
Yeah, brilliant. That entire that match is fabulous. Actually, we'll have that on at some point on a watch because that match is brilliant.
Yeah,
that tag match on Raw. But yeah, just the career trajectory of Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker obviously has a bit of a hiatus towards the end of this year until next year, and comes back as that badass character, but is still at the top of his game. And I just think about the main event level superstars that we had coming through all at the same time here. It was like wrestling's equivalent of the class of '92 in football. We just got so many good people coming through at once, and all but The Rock. These are people that the Undertaker, that WCW had passed on.
Yeah,
mental.
Either passed on or jobbed out to.
Mick Foley, terrorizing. Mean Mark Callis. They'd all been through there.
Terrorizing.
Yeah, terrorizing. Almost as bad as Matt Burns.
Doubt it. Maybe someone who's star quality could make a change, but
that's it, mate.
Anyway, seeing as we've already dropped the hammer, let's continue.
Whoa. Triple H now working on that broken arm. We should have had a cast on it, but I mean,
The
Rock's doing really well considering he's got a broken arm.
Oh, getting knees into it. That's a move you don't see often nowadays. A good old-fashioned Harley race knee drop.
Yeah.
You don't see that often, do you?
Not anymore at all, hardly. Sorry, mate. 2 seconds.
Anyway, hyperextending the arm right now. Triple H is bending some fingers, making sure to put the pressure. Rock trying to fire that. No, denied. The weird thing about it is a lot of people, for me, always sit there and says, who was Triple H's greatest opponent? Was it Austin? Was it The Rock? Which one was it? Who is it? And the weird thing about it is he was always associated with them both, but in some form of connection. Here's a question for you.
I think it's Shawn Michaels.
I was just about to.
When I think about Triple H's best rivalries, and there's loads: Randy Orton, Batista, John Cena to a point, The Rock, Stone Cold. You mentioned Mick Foley, The Undertaker.
Yeah,
but for me, it's Shawn Michaels. I think.
Me personally, Mick Foley.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mick Foley. But out of Austin and The Rock, who would you say was a good opponent?
I loved the hate between Triple H and Steve Austin.
Yeah,
it was something else that was ruined by Austin's heel turn and the 2-man power trip.
Yeah,
as well as the Vince McMahon rivalry, the Triple H rivalry was soured a little bit as well for me. But The Rock and Triple H had a great rivalry, and it continues to this day. So, what's real, what isn't real, what's story, what isn't story. But my God, the heat feels real.
It's amazing.
Doing a good job of working The Rock's arm here, though, and telling that story. I appreciate that they're telling the story about The Rock's arm,
but right in front of the crowd as well.
Doesn't look broken though, does it? Doesn't even look bruised.
It could be a metatarsal.
Metatarsals are burning in your foot.
I was trying to be
true story.
I know it's a true story. I was trying to get some laughs.
I've broken many a metatarsal. Oh, Rob on. Rock bottom. Triple H reverse. Took too much time.
Ooh.
The Rock looking at the crowd. DDT. Well done, Triple H. The game. The cerebral assassin.
I wonder how Jake Roberts feels about that.
China. What's she doing?
I wonder how Jake Roberts feels about that. A DDT becoming the transitional move.
Hey, listen. DDT is a cutoff. That's what it became. Oh, Earl's taking the chair. He doesn't have any of that.
Denied.
I've got a WWF logo printed on my shirt.
You know, listen, this is the first official merchandise. I will sell it to you later. You can buy it only in my referee t-shirts.
Does he deck him or does he leave him? Decks him.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't get that reference what I've just been saying.
This is a different Triple H.
Did you not get the reference I was saying just?
Triple H now with the chair. Oh, but the Rock hits him in the gut with a kick. Right hand. Second right hand. Third right hand. Puts Triple H down. Picks that chair up. And the Rock don't miss with them chairs. Just ask Mick Foley.
Concussion City. Concussion City.
And now the Rock hits Earl Hebner as well.
Just the wrong arm. Oof. Oh. Sticking the boots in. Title of the game. WWE Warzone.
One of my favorite video games of all time.
The only fan he's getting.
These two are still brawling. Triple H now with a crimson mask. China gets a kick to the gut from the Rock. Rock picks up that chair again. He's going to hit China and now the Rock.
Oof.
China takes a rough tumble to the outside.
And that was a rough tumble.
And now we're finally going to get the Rock bottom.
There we go. Boom.
Oh.
Where's the cat when you need it?
Get the people going for the bloody elbow pad.
There we go.
Chair shots here to the Rock from Triple H. And here comes Mickles.
Mickle, run the pipe. Whee!
And Triple H retreats, but what a war, those two.
Case in point.
So it's officially a win by the Rock by disqualification.
Yeah. And the Rock's just looking confused. Let's say, what are you doing here?
There was another one today, as well. I don't know if you've seen another one that's had their contract not renewed officially.
Go on.
Valhalla, also known as Sarah Logan.
That one I'm not surprised at.
No, I mean, I had a couple of kids. Maybe she didn't want to come back. We don't know the details, do we? But
where to,
and now we're getting the build up to Austin and Undertaker.
I remember watching this for the first time, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Isn't it? Corporate ministry.
Yeah. Then he just dives in. Mine is blowing his quads.
John Cena did a nice thing this week, after Ron Killing's release or not renewal. On his Instagram, he just posted a picture of Ron Cena. And like normally, a lot of what he posts is quite cryptic, but there was no reading between the lines on this one. It was just a picture of Ron Killings, like as Ron Cena. Thought it was a really nice touch. Austin's got the Undertaker. Yeah, that's it. He hooked him up to his own sign, didn't he?
Yeah. The scary thing about it is they always done these vignette videos epically.
Oh, this is brilliant again. I love these videos and to see the build up between, and because it wasn't this exciting on TV at the time, but the hype video makes it seem like it was awesome. No wonder we were all like conditioned to think wrestling was great every week because the hype videos were top quality.
The hype is real.
Here comes Shane.
That's a rough time you got.
No chance in hell. It's always weird seeing Shane McMahon come out to Here Comes the Money.
Here comes the money.
Again, if you're still listening along with us, we are coming up to the main event now, and we're at 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 28, 29, 30 seconds. So just so you can sync up with us and watch the action unfold with mine and Matt Burns, expert and sometimes ramblous alternate commentary.
Ramble expert. Extraordinaire. And yes,
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, I do read the comments. I may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me.
Oh, here comes Pat Patterson.
To replace Vince McMahon.
Is that all he is here? 58. And I used to think he
58.
was such an old man. Do you know what I mean? It's mad when you look back, isn't it?
Got people around.
Here comes the Undertaker. I love this Ministry Undertaker music as well, you know.
Yeah. The weird thing about it is, it's a good song. I don't know why. Part of me feels as though it doesn't have that mystic, that the one that fills you with pure utter dread. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it just fits this version of the character so well, though.
No. It's a bit of character, but whenever the iconic song is, dun,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The classic, where people, when they're in the ring and they're hearing it, they're just going, I'm getting that vibe, that feel.
Yeah. How do we feel about Evolution 2, Matt Burns? So Evolution's coming back, not the group, but the pay-per-view, the women's only pay-per-view.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Back the night after Saturday night's main event, the same day as one All In Texas. How do we feel about Evolution 2 coming back?
I've got no issues with this. It gives a good payday for some additional females. The question is are they going to be able to fill that pay-per-view?
Well, I think we only tend to do 5 matches on a pay-per-view now, don't we? Under Triple H's booking. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to get 5 decent stories going, ready for it. I think it's exciting that we're doing it. And I hope they get some of the veterans back again.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we'll do the same. I don't know if you remember Evolution 1. Might be worth a watch along soon, actually. But Evolution 1, we ended with sort of a curtain call type moment at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll do that again. But I would like to see some. That was a celebration, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
WWE. And this should be too, but not the same. And I just think that it would be. Do you know what? It's a bit similar to the first One Night Stand. You couldn't do the ending to the first One Night Stand twice. And that's why I don't think we'll do the same finish to Evolution. But I would like to see some of the veterans. I would like to see a Trish Stratus, a Lita, a Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Nikki Bella's the be-all and end-all, but, just some of the elder, more experienced workers. Here comes Austin with that smoking skull belt. Oh, and there's no time for anything but brawling. Obviously, the last pay-per-view Backlash we watched, Matt Burns, that ended with Stephanie being abducted by the Undertaker in the back of the cab, and was followed up by that segment that we saw in the video, which was Austin making the save for her and for Vince. And then the week after, 2 weeks after, Shane reveals himself as the Undertaker's partner, if you like, in this whole scheme.
Yeah.
Cameo for Sergeant Slaughter there.
Hashtag Sergeant Slaughter.
Hashtag G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Austin hangs up the Undertaker on the top rope. Just forget how good a worker Austin was,
Yeah.
Peak fandom for me, this is. And it wasn't that long ago. Shane McMahon was a full-time ref for the WWF. So,
yeah.
What was it? Shane Stevens, was he?
Shane Stevens? I forgot about that.
Austin flipping the V's. Again, if you're watching WWF Over the Edge with us, we are enjoying the main event now. Austin versus Undertaker for the WWF title. Shane McMahon is the special guest referee as Undertaker comes up behind Austin and hits him with a right hand. If you are listening along with us, just to give you the clock, we're currently at 1 hour, 59 minutes and 52, 53, 54 seconds, just so you can get synced up along with us. And that's now exactly 2 hours. Bang, 2 hours on the dot. So you can listen along with us. I think this is the most menacing looking Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like the version of the character that we get. The big symbol on the chest. I like the high butchers, the tights, the gloves, the brawling aspect, the Lucifer style beard. Yeah, certainly my favorite version of the Undertaker.
Yeah. Reverse. Coming out. Oh, no, denied. Ooh. Oh, interesting fact for you, Scott.
Go on.
Over the weekend, we actually found out that we actually have some listeners from some of the wrestlers of Aspire Wrestling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they actually asked me if I could say the I felt like Bart Simpson and, you know, in a certain episode, say the line.
Okay. Well, we'll let this one get on a short then. What's the line?
DFTBA. And you know what that stands for?
Wowza. Do you want to give anyone a shout out in particular?
In all fairness, I'd just rather give a massive shout out to the actual Aspire, Aspire Wrestling themselves.
Find them on Facebook, Aspire Wrestling. Absolutely.
Definitely. Highly recommend them. Genuinely, it's a wonderful wrestling promotion, especially since as it's a non-profit organization.
Yeah, brilliant.
Here we go.
Austin working on that left knee of the Undertaker.
Ooh.
Gets it wrapped up.
I've got to hit. I've got to hit. And he's out. And Austin just jumps straight back on.
Absolutely. The toughest SOB in the WWF, by God. Austin now on the outside. Undertaker's head leaning off the apron. Big elbow to the side of the Undertaker's face. Undertaker rolls out and he still takes a huge right hand from Austin.
Let's lay down. There we go. There's the second.
We forget. We've had the whole John Cena era. We had Brock Lesnar. We've got the Cody Rhodes era now. We had The Rock for a little bit. We forget how good Austin was in this time frame. 98, 99. He's 97, 98, 99. He's untouchable. He's just the best thing in wrestling. Even if he did run over that lady at WrestleMania.
I thought they were advertising a new WWE game. WWE off track.
Isn't it? Forget Simpson's hit and run. We've got Austin hit and run hitting the PlayStation this year.
Hit and run 316.
Just Nick Khan following you all the time, apologizing to people.
I'm sorry.
Throwing money at them.
Wow.
Shane trying to help the Undertaker to the ropes. I love that.
Ooh. Then I find it so funny. You got Undertaker going, bow. And then you got Shane McMahon going, bang, bang.
Yeah, they're all selling it, aren't they? Here comes Austin. Back on the outside again. Undertaker's leg this time over the apron. Oh, and Paul Bearer takes a right hand. Bit of overselling. Undertaker on the outside now picks up Austin, sends his back into the ring post. Very nice. And oh my God, no. Oh, knee to the outside. Oof. If you are watching along with us, again, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 41, 42, 43 seconds. Got the Undertaker now taking Austin into the crowd. It's main event time. Huge right hand from Undertaker reversed, and now Austin on the attack. Cut off by the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And we've still just got Shane McMahon as the referee here, and I'm not sure where it goes. I can't remember if we do get Vince coming back from the medical facility or whether that's it. I'm a little bit lost as to what happens next, but that's quite exciting because it's going to surprise me either way.
It's like when you don't remember, it's like watching it again.
Yeah, I remember the result, but I don't remember how, and that's just as exciting, I think, here.
Yeah, because you want to go, I can't remember how. I need to see how. See how it all works.
And again, the difference in fans in 1999 to today, not one of them is watching that through a video phone.
Yeah.
Everyone's just present in the moment.
And they're not on social media going, oh my God, I just seen Austin.
Choking out Austin with that cable. Slow count there from Shane.
Could have counted to 30.
You know what the problem is? They sent Pat Patterson out there to be the ref. They should have sent Gerald Briscoe, because then if the Undertaker had wanted to take out Gerald Briscoe, if Gerald had wanted him to be hooked, he'd have been hooked.
Why didn't they send both?
Gerald Briscoe, shooter, any.
Of course, I think Taker probably just goes, you ain't sending him. That'd be almost like sending for the man, wouldn't it? So, send for the Gerald.
Oh no. Oh, Corey's leg between the ring post and the steps.
Shane, that's not fair. You didn't get him back in the ring. No mind that, he just used steps.
12 minutes left, 13 minutes left of this pay-per-view now, Matt Burns. What have we learned from Over the Edge 1999? We've nearly watched the whole thing, other than the tragedy surrounding Owen Hart.
Yeah.
What have we learned from Over the Edge 99?
Well, we definitely know a union can beat a corporate ministry.
Yeah.
We know that The Rock can battle with a broken arm. We know that by their standards, that Billy Gunn is the star between him and Road Dogg, even though the actual proper end result was neither of them were.
Yeah. But it looked good for Billy Gunn at this point, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. We might have the end of the legendary feud of Al Snow and Hardcore Holly.
We might.
And Kane and X-Pac are a formidable tag team. And last but not least, Val Venus knows how to take advantage of a slight distraction of puppies to get the
Well, here's
win.
what I think. The match card was surprisingly strong. That's what I've learned from this.
Yeah.
Stone Cold and The Undertaker, money. Triple H and The Rock. Triple H a rising star at this point. The Rock established. Hardcore Holly versus Al Snow was brilliant. And it's a shame that the dark cloud sort of like sits over the show.
It's a war. That's when you know it's when it means business, when the commentary team can't even leave the desk for safety. Oh, good counter.
By the Undertaker. Nice, that was.
Good clean counter.
I think the best thing about this pay-per-view is the legacy it lasts in terms of safety and stunt safety. You know, things were tightened up a lot after this. And that's the real legacy of what happened here is that although it was a tragedy, it was a horrible thing.
They learned
we're a lot better for it now. I also think that one of the brilliant things that, not brilliant, but one of the shoots of good that came out of this is how we deal with grief in wrestling. Tribute shows. This was, wasn't the first, I'm sure, but it was certainly the first TV tribute show for a wrestler. The next night on Raw, we had the Owen Hart tribute. And, even thinking more recently to somebody like Brody Lee, obviously had an impact on how we dealt with the Brody Lee passing. So I think, that legacy, with that, but also I think, Owen Hart's legacy is bigger than wrestling. And I know you know a lot more about the man than I do, but I think maybe you just want to speak to that, his legacy, outside of wrestling.
The thing is, outside of the wrestling, he was a big family man, big orientated. And the weird thing about it is many could sit there and say, he didn't have to stay in the WWE or WWF, and yet he did still stay due to the whole situation, even with the whole situation of what happened to Bret and everything. But at the same time, with Owen, I feel as though he had a massive passion for wrestling. The fact that he didn't just stay in America, he learned the British style, he learned the American style, he learned the Mexican style, he learned whatever style he could do as much as possible to try to come out as more of a standout, and it showed.
But outside of wrestling as well, you hear wrestlers talk about Owen, and sure, they mention how good he was in the ring, but more often they talk about how he made people laugh, how he looked after the rookies, how he'd sneak teammates extra pay from merch tables just because in a business full of egos, he was the guy you'd give, not take. So for so many, I think that's why Owen he's not just remembered, he's sort of modeled after.
Yeah, because there's so many individuals who want to give to the business. Owen was an individual who did give a lot
Yeah,
to help.
and
Be it either a smile, especially a cheeky one,
yeah,
a prank, a joke. He always aimed to bring a smile to anybody.
and say what you want about Martha Hart, and not she never really got over it with WWE, and that's why I think Owen's never gone into the Hall of Fame. But she turned her pain into purpose, and the Owen Hart Foundation, she's helped people provide scholarships, housing, and aid to low-income families. And that means there's kids in Canada going to school, families staying in homes, and people rebuilding their lives, all because of a man we never met, we knew on telly, but whose name carries on. It's bigger than a match or a title run. I think that's real impact. And then thinking
Yeah,
back to wrestling now, for over 20 years, Owen wasn't really mentioned much by WWE out of respect for Martha's wishes. But in 2021, AEW was working with the Hart family, I nearly come the foundation there, the Hart family, introduced the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and that
yeah,
celebrated his spirit, his love of competition, and again his lasting imprint. And younger fans who've never seen him wrestle, are now asking who's Owen Hart, and they're finding answers. And for that reason, his legacy's alive and well, just on a different stage. So I'm not a huge AEW fan, but I'm a huge fan of the AEW Owen Hart Foundation, Owen Hart Cup
invitation
tournament.
tournament. Yeah, it's a nice little touch that is. And to be honest with you, Owen he was always a standout for me. Well, he's got to be a standout for me because I've borrowed from his gear. A bit of the style, a bit of the
Yeah,
look.
absolutely. And I always
Paying
think back
tribute.
to, do you know what? This is talked about on a podcast not so long ago, and I just think about, a year to the day that this happened.
Hmm.
WCW are in the building doing their own pay-per-view. They did the triple cage, and they had a wrestler come off the top of the triple cage in this building a year to the day that this happened. And I just think, we can either be sensitive, and WWE didn't do another stunt like this in terms
Yeah,
of rappelling from the ceiling in a very long time.
yeah.
Um,
Whereas WCW sort of just took the guy,
well, they carried on with Sting, etc., didn't they? And I get that it wasn't their business, and they had different safety protocols in place, etc., etc. But I just think the sensitivity of the thing, yeah, I'm not going
yeah,
to say any more on it because whether it's right or wrong for WCW to have carried on, it's similar to the conversation about was it right or wrong for the show to carry on.
yeah,
You can't judge 1999 by 2025 standards, and equally great album there from the second rate for Austin, and equally you can't. Oh, Shane McMahon isn't counting the three for Austin, as if we didn't see that coming. Um, and equally, you know, that choice made in the moment for the fans in attendance. If they hadn't gone through with the show, we might have been saying that they were wrong to not go through with the show. So difficult to know what was the right thing to do. But I think now we just move on from talking about Owen because we're getting to the end of this pay per view. Austin hits Undertaker with the chair,
boom.
but Shane's down. Austin goes for the cover. Gerald Briscoe with the referee shirt on too. Undertaker
The
kicks out.
real shooter.
Here comes Jerry. I got there, Mr. McMahon.
Just got there.
Again, if you're watching along live with us, we're at the 2-hour, 18-minute, 45-second mark. Undertaker takes out Gerald
Boom.
Briscoe.
The match should damn be sure over.
Title's at stake, but there's no way Austin retains it. He's just got everything stacked against him. And Undertaker with a huge lariat leaving his feet.
You got the crowd chanting HBK because he's the commissioner. Here he comes, Mr. Hobbler.
Looks all right for somebody whose ankle's broken. Austin goes for the stunner, reversed, double down, double clothesline. Undertaker and Austin both down in the ring. Undertaker's up. Vince McMahon's up. Undertaker's down. Austin's down. Shane McMahon's down.
I got Vince referee without a referee shirt. Is that official?
6, 7. Undertaker counting. Oh, they both sat up and they're at it again. Big right hands from Austin and Undertaker. Undertaker to gain advantage now. Sends Austin off. Austin ducks a clothesline. Austin, stunner! Stunner on Undertaker. Vince counts 1, 2, and Shane stops him just getting up.
Here we go.
And that's the finish.
Oh my God.
Shane pushes Austin. Shane pushes Vince into Austin, who rolls over Undertaker, who rolls him up, and then Shane counts 1, 2, 3 quicker than you can say banana pancakes. And Undertaker is now the WWF champion, although he's still getting beaten down in the ring by Austin, and Shane's just taken the belt away. And shouts for the entire corporate ministry to come down and help. Stunner for Boss Man.
Bye.
Stunner for Midian.
Bye.
Picks up a steel chair as the acolytes come in. They don't dare get in the ring. Undertaker's out and he's got his championship.
Oh.
And the ministry, the corporate ministry, are now in possession of the WWF championship.
And looking strong. As we're about to come to an end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that was Over the Edge 1999. All the horrible bits. How many sausages would you give that pay-per-view, Matt Burns? Is it difficult to do with all the, I know we talked about Owen Hart during the episode at length, but is it worth giving this a rating? Let's give it a rating based on the bits we've seen, which is the non-Owen Hart related bits.
It's tough.
It is tough. It had some good stuff on it though. So if we try and think about it objectively, we had Triple H.
I'm trying to do it
the Rock,
objectively.
Which was very good. The Hardcore match was very good. And Billy Gunn and Road Dogg was okay. The main event was okay, but it was a very Vince Russo main event.
Yeah. A bit schmozzy.
Yeah.
Especially with the end.
Yeah. So what do we think?
I'm going to go.
Do you know what? I don't even know if Vince Russo was still booking at this point.
I don't think he was.
But it was very 1999 in terms of the finish, everybody.
It's hard to explain because a part of me wants to go 4 for the action in wrestling, but I'm going to go with 3.
Yeah, I think 3's fair. I don't think it didn't blow me away. Some of the stuff on it was pretty good. You could tell everyone was a little bit distracted after the incident. So
no. What I'm saying to you is, it could have been a 4 if there wasn't the incident.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But I think overall it was good. Moved the story along for Austin and the Undertaker. I mean, at this point, it's not their fault that the higher power turned out to be an absolute fail. And the next night,
of course,
a fantastic Owen Hart tribute. So I think that's the most important thing, and the legacy of Owen.
Yeah, but as you said, the whole storyline did end up becoming a bit schmozzy and everything. But if you want to hear how it can be done better, you could always check out a certain rebook this by a certain Scott.
Yeah, I did rebook the higher power, didn't I? So you can find that in the archives or on the website. I think it's certainly it's on the website in blog form at theburningtruthuk.com. And just before we go, Matt Burns, I want to tell one more story about Owen Hart, if that's okay.
Before we go, I wanted to explain me three bangers. Reason why. The reason why it was good solid action, as we said. The problem was we had constant reminder of the incident with a certain stain. And it does stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Well, you just kind of killed the mood before me last. I was trying to tell a happy story at the end, and you just brought us right back down.
I'm so sorry.
So the story is, Owen once went to the ring after his gear had been stolen. This is a story Jim Ross has told before. All he had were oversized trainers and mismatched tights that he found in lost property. So he went out and wrestled in them, because what else is he going to do? And after the match, JR asked him what the hell happened. And Owen just said, he just had one line. He said, JR, I figured I had two options. I wrestle like this, or I wrestle naked. And he made his choice.
He chose wisely.
He chose wisely. Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Burning Truth. You can find us everywhere on the socials. Just search The Burning Truth and look for the championship belt just there and just behind my colleague Matt Burns. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you've watched this on the podcast or listened to this on the podcast, please have a search for us on YouTube. Follow us on there. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, share the video. We'll love you for doing all the good stuff. Leave us a comment. What did you think? And do you think it was the right decision or the wrong decision for them to have carried on this pay-per-view after the incident? And what's your favorite memory of Owen Hart? We didn't talk once about Owen Hart's danger gear, Matt Burns, and we both love the yellow and black danger gear. In fact, one Matt Burns' wrestling attire right now is inspired by that. So we absolutely love the Owen Hart danger gear, WWF Attitude 1999, which was it was actually delayed release and then released with a tribute to Owen Hart on it. If you didn't know that, Matt Burns, and the mannerisms were changed, or sorry, the crowd reaction was changed, so Owen Hart could never be booed on the game, which I thought was really clever as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, though, the next time we are on the watch along for 1999, do you know what event it is next?
King of the Ring.
King of the Ring
with the ladder match for control of the WWF Stone Cold versus Shane and Vince.
Oof.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And we never did find out who raised that briefcase. But for us tonight, that's it. Thanks very much for joining us. I've told you about the socials. I've told you to like and subscribe the video. I think that's all I need to tell him.
That's all you need to tell him. But more importantly, one thing I need to tell you all you need to do is DFTBA, which, if of course you don't know what that means, that of course means don't forget to be.
Owen Hart had a alter ego, and he was called Mr. Rib. And do you know what the best thing he ever did as Mr. Rib?
Go on.